Hey, this is Jill Ciminillo with Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and today I am driving the 2023 Lincoln Corsair. And yep, this is just a luxury version of the Ford Escape, but it is so much more. And I do have a comparison video. I hope you'll check that out between these two vehicles. But there's really a lot of good stuff on the Corsair. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just a quick walk around interior and exterior. But the primary gist of this video is going to be I'm focusing on three features on this test vehicle that I really like, and one thing that even after a week is still annoying the snot out of me. So let's take a closer look right now. All right, I'm going to jump right in and just give a quick look at the exterior of this vehicle. I love the grille with the kind of, I don't know, floating dots. I guess that's what you would call it. And this just has a really good up-level look to it. It does have the optional paint with pristine white. And this is the reserve trim all-wheel drive. So you're not looking at a base model here. This is more of an up-level trim with 20-inch wheels. And once we get inside, you'll see that the interior is also really upgraded. There's some nice features and packages on here. This vehicle is going to be about $58,000. Now, the base price for the Lincoln Corsair is going to be about $45,000, but this right here is $58,000. You've got the dual exhaust at the back. You've got the LED lights, the Lincoln badging, and yeah, 2.0 liter turbocharged engine, which is frankly really nice for this vehicle. Let's go inside. On the interior, the first thing I want to point out is that this does have the eternal red interior. And I don't know, I'm a sucker for red interior, especially when it's leather. I think it looks really good. I like the dark seat belts, and what I really like about this is, okay, you've got the red on the leather of the seats, and then when you look at the door, they've put the reverse stitching of the red onto the door panels, and I just think that is really well done. What else do we have going on back here? You've got a digital display behind the wheel, and you've got a very large infotainment screen with wireless Apple CarPlay. And what I really like about it is you have the option to do a split screen with some information here, and then if you click this button there, it will make your Apple CarPlay go to a full screen. And I don't like a split screen. I just put it on here to show you guys. I typically like a full screen, but I like that you have the option. I know there are people that do like the split screen because they want that extra little bit of information going on here. Now, something that you have on the steering wheel, I in social media I've had people ask me what this is. This is your talk button. So a lot of cars these days, if you say like, "Hey Lincoln," the car will start talking to you. But nope, you still have to hit this button right here. And I thought it would be a problem for me. I thought I would hit it accidentally a lot, but I didn't. Because I typically kind of drive like this, but if you are somebody who drives like this, that is in a little bit of an awkward location. One of the interesting things about the steering wheel on the Corsair is you don't always have these that are active. When you turn on your cruise control, they light up and they show you what your options are for them to do. But if you have the cruise control off, it's just kind of a nice little accent piece. Now, again, because this is the reserve model and it does have some options on it, like $10,000 worth of options, you will notice this camera right here, that indicates that this vehicle has Blue Cruise. More on that later. And then you have your different controls here. You can configure your digital screen through this, and with some different options here. And I don't know, I like how this looks. Yes, there's a lot of black lacquer. Yes, the wireless charging is just okay, but you do have a USB-C and a USB-A charge port. I like the location of the cup holders with the prongy things. And I did have a little bit of a hard time getting used to the piano key push button start, but obviously that's something that an owner wouldn't have a problem with. But I will point out, so me sitting here, like I can't really just reach up my hand and touch. Like there is a lean that has to happen in order for me to touch any of these things. And I'm short, I do have short arms, but I think that somebody who's sitting with their seat further back is probably still also going to have a lean. So especially if you need to touch anything in this upper corner, so like your little shortcut for Apple CarPlay is up in this right hand corner, that is definitely a reach. I won't get too much into some of the other options because those are going to be the features that I want to talk about and focus on, but this does have an available panoramic roof. And I will say that the back of this vehicle with these second row seats down, there are only 2 rows, with these seats down are enough, there's enough cargo space back there to fit 2 bikes. And I did take a bike ride this weekend. So that is just a quick look at the interior. And yeah, we're going to get into the seats as well. So, all right, let's get into those 3 features. I kind of teased, actually, I think all 3 of them. So let's go. All right, I'm actually going to start with the one feature that I didn't really tease, and that is going to be the park assist functionality. So you get to that by hitting this button right here on this floating console area, and what it'll do is it'll help you parallel park, or it will help you perpendicular park into your spot depending on which you select. And I live in Chicago. I love to parallel park. I'm weird. And I think I'm pretty good at it. I'm probably better at it than the car. But this feature is totally a godsend if you don't know how to parallel park and you need to parallel park. So this is probably an occasional feature, but again, can be a lifesaver. So for somebody who just doesn't know how to parallel park. I have people who, whenever they come to visit me, they're like, here's my keys, go park my car, please. So yeah, I don't need to do that in this vehicle. This vehicle will do it for them. So let's drive around. I'll see if I can find a spot and I will show you how it works. All right, so I have some spots coming up here on the left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the button and I am going to do parking assistance. I think I've found a spot that's not really a spot. So it says space found. That is the space I want. So it says shift into neutral and release the brake and hold the park button. So you do have to hold down the button while you are doing it. So you see the camera pops up. It did secondarily indicate the spot that I wanted, and it will do all of the steering as well as all of the braking and shifting for you. But you do have to hold this button the entire time. But you know what? Okay, that did pretty well. But one of the interesting things that this vehicle does, say you've parked and you had plenty of space in front of you, you had plenty of space in back of you, and then people get really close to you while you are inside doing whatever it is that you want to do. This vehicle will actually also get you out of your spot, and that actually can be pretty helpful. So we'll hit this button again, and we'll do parking assistance. And so you have to select the side, and I would like to get out. So it says release the steering wheel, shift to neutral, release the brake to start, hold the park button. So again, hitting the park button. And I am watching the surroundings at the same time because people zoom through here on these streets all the time. I really don't feel like getting hit today. Okay, okay. I was gonna say that's really close if it's actually gonna try and get out of this spot, but it's not. So it's backing up again. It knows that it doesn't have enough space. Still holding the button. And now it has put me at an angle to be able to get out of the spot. It wants me to take control, and there you go. Now, the really cool thing about this feature is it also works when you are trying to perpendicular park into a space at a grocery store, at a mall, whatever. So this will also do that for you, and that is also incredibly helpful. So the Park Assist function is going to be the first feature that I really like on the Lincoln Corsair. Now, the second thing that I really like on the Lincoln Corsair is going to be this right here, and that is the 24-way perfect position seats. And if you were paying attention when I was showing the interior, this right here should look a little different to you because there are actually 2 pads for your thigh bolsters, and what that means is you can adjust one out or the other out and have them in. So like while you're driving, you can have more support on one leg and then have the other come in. I don't know. Just the way that you can adjust these and the customizability is, to me, fascinating. And so the thigh bolsters themselves are adjusted through this right here. And I don't know if you can see right here. So you've got them where you can take them both out. So I'm moving them both out, and then you can have one come in, and then you can have the other come in, or you can have the other go out really far to give you support while you're driving on the long haul. I don't know. So that's just one of the 24 ways that you can adjust this. But this also means you've got a lot more adjustment when you come into the screen right here. So you can adjust the support for your back. So you can look right here and it'll show you. So you can really adjust how customized you want your back support. And obviously, like for me, I really like the extra support in the rib cage area. So I can actually customize this to me, and then I can give me some really good support on the thigh area. And I don't know, I just really appreciate how customizable and adjustable this is. And then as an added bonus, you have massaging seats. So yeah, I very often will, I don't know if you can see that, turn on the heated seats, and then I will turn on the massaging seats as well, and it gives me a little massage while I'm driving, and that is a part of the customized adjustment. So you can do some of your adjustments here by just using this little item on the screen, but if you really want to fine tune it, you come into the adjust your seat settings here, and you can just really set your seat up how you want it. And the really cool thing is the passenger seat can be adjusted in the same way. So yeah, that makes the second thing that I really like about the Lincoln Corsair. Now, the final feature that I really appreciate on the Lincoln Corsair is going to be the Active Glide system. And this is both a hands-on and a hands-free system that you can activate once you get on the highway. And where I find this to be particularly helpful is, yeah, rush hour traffic in Chicago. So I'm merging on the highway right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate the system by hitting this button on the steering wheel, which turns on cruise control. And it automatically, I wasn't going 15 miles an hour, but it automatically set my speed at 15 miles an hour. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pump this up a little bit so it looks like the speed limit is 45. There's a construction zone. So I'm going to go ahead and pump this up to 45. So I am going the speed limit, and it says Active Glide on, watch the road, be prepared to resume control. And so I'm going to say, okay. So Active Glide is on, the hands-free system is active. That means I can take my hand off the steering wheel, and it's modulating the speed. So my foot is not on the gas pedal. It's modulating the speed, and it is steering for me. Now, one of the other things it allows you to do is it will activate a hands-free lane change. And so if you're going a lot slower than the traffic in the other lane and the coast is clear, it'll tell you that a lane change is recommended, and you can go ahead and hit the blinker, and it will check your surroundings and it will change lanes for you when it deems it is safe to do that. Now, the entire time that I'm driving here, this camera is watching my eyes. It's making sure that I'm looking forward and I'm paying attention, which I'm doing. And you know, there have been a couple of times while I've had this system activated that I've been, you know, doing this to make sure that the vehicle is staying in place and that everything around the vehicle is, you know, okay. And that's the way you should operate this system. It's not hey, I'm gonna turn the system on and text my best friend. No, don't do that. To be safe, you absolutely have to be paying attention and keeping your eyes on the road and your hands kind of at the ready to take control of the vehicle. And as I'm seeing traffic slow up ahead, I'm actually gonna hover my foot over the brake a little bit because, yeah, all of this stuff still makes me just a little bit nervous. But in general, when you're at a steady state, I love these systems. I love being able to go hands-free, and I love letting the vehicle do the heavy lifting. And I will say this system right here, okay, it's telling me to put my hands back on the wheel. I will say this system right here is better than some of the Blue Cruise that I've seen in previous vehicles. So this is more of a 2.0 Blue Cruise system or 2.0 Active Glide system. It's telling me to take my hands off the wheel, so I can do that because it's starting to move again at 3 miles per hour. So I think this is better than what I've seen previously. I think that they are continuously improving it. I still don't think it's as good as Super Cruise from Cadillac, but again, I really appreciate systems like this that allow you to kind of de-fatigue instead of stop, go, stop, go, stop, go. So yeah, that rounds out my third favorite feature on the Lincoln Corsair. Super glad that they've put this in the entry level vehicle for the lineup. So thumbs up on that. All right, it's now time for me to talk about the thing that I don't like. And it's not the screen. I actually think the screen is really well done. And I don't mind the HVAC here across the bottom. It's pretty easy to use, and I like the fact that you have like a big space to slide your finger up. You know, it's fairly easy to deal with, and so the HVAC across the bottom doesn't bother me. I did get some questions about that in social media because there are no hard buttons anymore for your HVAC controls. Doesn't bother me. The overall navigation of this screen bothers me. So figuring out how to navigate through anything was just a little bit tough. And I was in Apple CarPlay, and my husband hates my music. He says I have the musical taste of a 13-year-old boy. So this right here is my music, and then, you know, that would be if I was switching into Apple CarPlay. This is the native navigation. So this is your home screen. And he's like, well, how do I get into XM radio? And it's not any of these shortcuts here. And, you know, if you go through your settings, it's not any of these here. You know, it went into general and it wasn't that. You know, that's just settings. I went into sound. Obviously, that's not it. And it just, yeah, it's not here. So, all right, we'll go back to the Lincoln Home button. Features, not there. Back to the Lincoln Home button. Apps, not there. Back to the Lincoln Home button. What we finally ended up doing is I hit my music, and then you have the source tap or source button that shows up, and that is what allows you to switch from AM, FM, Sirius XM, and the Apple CarPlay music. So once you hit that Sirius XM button and you go back to the Lincoln button, yeah, it shows up right here. But if you want to change the source, again, it's just not intuitive. And I know all of this stuff is things an owner would be shown, hopefully, when they take ownership of the vehicle. But it's not intuitive. And again, I really wish I would have had a camera on my husband when he was trying to figure this all out, because it was actually kind of funny. All right, I've tried to give you a general overview of the Lincoln Corsair. I've talked about 3 of the features I really like and 1 thing that annoys me. But before I close this out, I do want to give some general driving impressions, because overall, I really like the Lincoln Corsair. I know a lot of people are not a fan of turbocharged engines, but I really think that the turbocharged engine in this vehicle is smooth, peppy, seamless, no turbo lag. It does all of the things that you want it to do without really any problem. And I feel like it's great for merging on highways. It's really good in a city situation when you need to accelerate, and it does all of the things. And it's not as fuel efficient as I would like. I will be honest. I haven't been getting the best fuel efficiency. But I will also point out that when my husband is in the car, he always turns the auto stop start off. So that definitely contributes to it. But overall, I really like the Corsair. I think it's quiet. I think it is luxurious. I think it is comfortable. And yeah, I actually think it's worth $58,000. I know a lot of people call this a glorified Ford Escape, but there are just so many features on the Corsair that you can get that you cannot get on the Escape. From the perfect position seats to the park assist. Well, actually, I think you can get the park assist on the Escape, but just how well everything works on this vehicle, the seat comfort, and just the general quietness. Like, I love getting into the Corsair and just shutting the doors, and you just get this quiet thwap. And everything you're like encased in silence and peace. And so as soon as you get behind the wheel of this vehicle, it's like you almost just feel calm. And to me, that is exactly what a luxury vehicle should do, and that is what a luxury vehicle should feel like. So if I had to sum up this vehicle in a sentence, it's always really hard for me to do that. But if I had to do that, I would say that this is a really quiet and smooth luxury vehicle with some great amenities and features, but it's right-sized for the city. Yeah, maybe I'll stop there, because this is a compact SUV. It's great for city spaces, and again, accelerating on the highway, doing all the things, thumbs up. I really like the Corsair. I really like Lincoln. I think more people should look at Lincoln, actually. I think this is a very underrated vehicle. I think it's a very underrated brand. And yeah, that is all I'm going to say about that. For more information, be sure to check us out on the web at pickuptrucktalk.com. And I will see you down the road.